Hi, this is Matt. Once again, we're back to another video, and this is a paid request from Rapid Kirby 3K. Very nice person. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. For those interested, requested any type of videos, whether it be a topic, tier list, ranking review, re-review, thought streams, commentaries, video game playthroughs for an hour, full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those that sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And this is another versus he wanted me to look into. Deep Impact versus Armageddon. Now, of course, these films came out in 1998. I believe Deep Impact came first and then Armageddon. I think Armageddon was the one that made a bit more money compared to Deep Impact. And two films, like one's about two comets, the other's about an asteroid the size of Texas, coming down, ready to destroy the Earth. And Deep Impact takes a bit more of a dramatic side of it. Armageddon is more of the over-the-top, mayhem, ridiculous, over-the-top factor of it. So in a way, even though they're similar to that point, it is like comparing apples and oranges. It depends what you're in the mood for in terms of, do you want more of a drama or do you want more of a fun, goofy, explosive fest of a flick? I would say this. I'm not a diehard fan of either one. But if you're asking me which I would rather watch, it would be Armageddon. I mean, to be fair, both are unrealistic. I mean, but neither one are realistic movies, if we're being honest about it. With what would really happen and then the way they play it off in the movie, they're both ridiculous to an extent. Because both of them are still going up and detonating a lot of fucking nuclear weapons, explosives to stop these things. And I'm sure that's part of the plan for NASA, but I really don't think that would fucking work in real life. I don't. Maybe I'll be proven wrong one day. Maybe I'll be proven wrong when I've left this earth and it's hopefully a long ways off. But, or if not, if it's in my lifetime, I'm going to hope it works. But I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But Deep Impact, I do remember some positive things. I remember the cast. Morgan Freeman as the president is the thing I remember. I remember that the most because I thought that's a good choice. Morgan Freeman as the president of the United States is a very good choice. I wish we had that president now. But it'd be a great choice. Great actor. You also have Elijah Wood. You got Robert Duvall. You got Taya Leone, who I don't mind. She's in the film. Jon Favreau is in the film. A lot of recognizable people. And I think, for the most part, they do a good job, acting-wise. There's some touching moments, like Taya Leone in the last moment she has with her dad. There's some stuff that's a bit, melodramatic, like Robert Duvall reading, Moby Dick to the guy who's been blinded. And I get the idea. Robert Duvall is selling it as he can, but it's a little bit much. But I get what they're going with. But Deep Impact, I just remember being kind of boring. Just kind of boring, and I get it, but I don't own it in my collection for a reason. And I've only seen that film all the way through a couple times. And it's just like, Armageddon, while I've mocked the film throughout my time on the channel, Not often, but once in a blue moon. When I talk about Michael Bay stuff I like, I mentioned Bad Boys 2, The Island, even Six Underground. I liked. I don't mention Armageddon a lot because it's not a film I go back and rewatch, but at the same time, there's aspects of that I do like more than Deep Impact. I like the cast in Deep Impact. I like the cast in Armageddon more. Bruce Willis being the lead. This is a time when he was, he had The Sixth Sense the next year, and Die with a Vengeance was just a few years before that, and I'm a fan of Bruce Willis. I'm sad, what's happening to him. But ever since Die Hard and Last Boy Scout, all those movies, I've always been a Bruce Willis fan. So it's cool to see him in the lead. I like Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck is actually a lot of fun. I think he has some good rapport with Bruce Willis. It's also a fun commentary if you listen to Ben Affleck. You can find parts of it on YouTube where he went to the director and said, why would NASA pay millions of dollars to train drillers to be astronauts? Couldn't they train astronauts to drill? And Michael Bay stood there and said, shut the fuck up, Ben. He's the best oil driller. How do you know he's the best? What, how does one know that they're the best oil driller? It was a funny bit. I thought. Sadly, he doesn't do it all the way through because there's other people added. I wish they just had him the entire commentary from beginning to the end. But that's fun. But I like Ben Affleck. I like Billy Bob Thornton, and was it Will Patton? I think was in it, and there's some other good actors. Michael Clark Duncan. Like I said, I do like the cast has a funny sense of humor to it. And again, because the subject matter, I'm not taking that. I mean, I did. It's the end of the earth. I should be taking it seriously. I did it. It's just, when the big plan is we're going to blow it out of the sky with nuclear explosives, it's just okay, that's the best play we got. That type of levity I enjoyed. It was just more fun. Might be more dumb, but I thought it was more fun and less boring. I also do think that the special effects look a bit better in Armageddon. The production value and the camera work is a little bit more frenetic. Some may not like that, but I appreciate it in that film. I do think the film tends to be a bit too long, and when they get on the asteroid, there's really not a whole lot for them to do, because it's the drill. And it's how do you make a group of people drill? How do you make that exciting? Well, we gotta add this, and they separate, and Ben Affleck's over here, and you gotta ride in there, and the drill breaks. So it's trying to find this way to. It's still people drilling into a rock. So we gotta still have to make that as exciting as it can. But the music, I like the score. Bow, new, new, new. Bow, down, down, down. I think the score is excellent. I think the song by Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which I could be wrong, but I think that's the only #1 song they had. Don't quote me on that. I could absolutely be wrong. But I think that's the only #1 song. And I do remember listening to that song all the time back in the day. That was when we had cable, and I was watching MTV, and I would see that song all the time on MTV. And I don't want to miss a thing. Even when I dream of you, I don't want to miss a thing. And I had the CD. I remember having the CD because to listen to that song as well as the pieces of the score and stuff. So I had the soundtrack to that. So I do quite like the soundtrack. I do like Billy Bob Thornton in the movie. I thought he was rather good in it. idea. So that again, you just say Armageddon is much dumber, much more over the top, zany and frenetic, and you could argue too frenetic. But at the same time, I mean, there were moments I do remember laughing, like their demands. Yeah, they don't want to ever pay taxes again, ever, or stuff like that. I thought, you stab me in that thing, I'm gonna stab you in the heart with it. You ever seen Pulp Fiction? So yeah, there are moments that I did like and I had fun. Was it Owen Wilson in that? I think Owen Wilson was in that too. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, the cast, the music, the over the top insanity of it. Yeah, there are parts of it that I do like. It's just not a film of his filmography I rewatch. I wouldn't say I hate the film. I don't hate the film. I mean, if I'm thinking about it more, I probably, if I'm being honest, I would say it's okay. It's okay. I could watch it, but it's just there are parts that just did again when they're on the asteroid just drags. So, but I remember Deep Impact dragging even more. I think the director was the girl that did that Peacemaker movie with George Clooney, which I remember liking that film. But I mean, that's a whole different topic. But like I said, of the two, I just see people picking Deep Impact if they want more of an emotional story or core to it and less outrageousness. But how I want to put it, the sizzle, the razzle dazzle, there's a certain phrase I'm thinking of. The Armageddon just seems a bit more fun for me. So that's where I'm gravitating more towards, and more style than substance. While Deep Impact surely has a bit more substance, in this case I prefer the style more. And Armageddon definitely had more style to it, so I have to go with that one. For me, at least. With that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.